And that was great, Jess. We got 1 out of 3. Well, okay, I want to introduce the band now, because we're coming up on a little bit more lively song. And first of all is Jess Johnson, the member of the original Patsy Cline band with me and Dick. And he told me at Dick's memorial, because Dick passed away in 2011, my pianist, he said, "Kid, if you get a gig, I'd like to play for you." And I thought, I doubt that's going to happen. But it did, and I called him up, and he was thrilled. And Jess has been in the music business since he was very young. He started playing the guitar at age 6, and then he 20 years, yeah. And then he went down to, well, he studied jazz at the University of Oregon. And then at 19, he decided he was going to head on out and try to make his living with music. And so he went down to LA, and he landed a job as a studio musician. And he worked with many popular artists, and I'm going to drop some names, such as Roy Orbison, Buddy Holly, Bobby Darin, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, James Burton, who is Elvis Presley's guitar player, and many, many more. And then he hit the scene from Las Vegas to Reno to Chicago, and he met up with Glenn Campbell, Fats Domino, Bobby Darin, the Righteous Brothers, Roger Miller, Little Richard, and even the great Chuck Berry. And now he gets to work with Patsy Cline. And our second member is our drummer here, and his name is Randy Hill. And by the way, Jess Johnson was his last name. And Randy is from Texas, and he's moved out to Oregon with his wife in 2004 because he wanted to escape the heat, the humidity, and roaches the size of armadillos. And through his years of performing, he's shared the stage with some of the legends of country and swing music: Johnny Rodriguez, George Strait, pedal steel legend Jimmy Day, Texas Tornadoes Aunt Augie Myers, Terry Gibbs, Stan Perkins, who's the son of Carl Perkins, you all know him, Sonny Garish, Jimmy Payne, and Hayden Vitera, asleep at the wheel. No, not Randy, the group. And now, if you want to see Randy play or hire him to play for you, he's part of the group of the Oregon Valley Boys, and you just go OregonValleyBoys.com. And I was going to say Jess is on CD Baby, and you can buy his CDs there. And I listened to some of the little clips from that. And then we have Roger Webster, and he's on bass. And Roger's probably the most versatile style-wise, because he plays all kinds of music. He currently is into my band, but normally he plays the bass. His big gig, I guess, would say he plays for the Philharmonic Orchestra up in Salem. And but he started out back in Colorado, and he played folk guitar and string bass, and he learned that just at home watching his brothers. And then he moved to the Arkansas Ozarks, and he started bluegrass and mountain music. And then he went to Pennsylvania, and he played Ukrainian melodies and American pop tunes. And then he came to Oregon, and he started out on polkas and the Salem's Pop Orchestra. So then he decided, I think I'll go into jazz. And so jazz and country are just like a variation here. So he plays at his church and with a few small bands. And in his spare time, it's interesting to know that Roger is a senior software analyst for the state of Oregon. So I'm not sure which is more fun, that job or the music. Yeah. I think his boss is out there, so he can't really say. Okay, and they are for hire, and I forgot to mention that Randy Hill is also a radio announcer on KMUZ, and I assume that's country.
It's all stuff. It's community radio.
Okay. So, okay, this next song, this is my favorite instrumentation, the Wayward Wind. Oh, the wayward wind is a restless wind, a restless wind that yearns to wander, and he was born the next of kin, the next of kin to a wayward wind. In a lonely shack by a railroad track, he spent his younger days, and I guess the sound of the outward bound made him a slave to his wandering ways. Oh, the wayward wind is a restless wind, a restless wind that yearns to wander, and he was born the next of kin, the next of kin to a wayward wind.